everyone, it's Amanda. I just wanted to check in real quick. I am out taking Chauncey for her afternoon walk, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about my tattoos and the order I got them, why I got them. Sorry, there's kids playing nearby. The order I got them, why I got them, and some of them have sentimental meaning behind them, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit and share my experience getting tattoos with others who might be interested in getting their own, or to talk shop basically with seasoned pros that have tattoos already. So, but first I think I'm going to go to Starbucks. There's one nearby. I'm going to grab myself a nice cold drink, and I'm going to get Chauncey a water and a banana because that's her favorite snack. And well, her favorite snack from Starbucks. Her favorite all-time snack are dehydrated sweet potatoes. But yeah, so we're both gonna go get a treat, and then we're gonna head on home, and I will discuss my tattoos. I will talk to you later. Hi, baby. Sweetie. Oh, sorry. It's okay. Chauncey. Hi, sweetie. So I am home now. I've been home for a little bit of a spell. I needed to take a shower after that long walk, and I actually have a friend's birthday party this evening that I'm going to be attending. So I took a shower, got a little pre-ready before I get ready, and just wanted to sit down and finish up shooting this video quickly so that I can get it posted to you guys. It's been about a week since I posted my video about Gandalf, and so I did want to put something out there so you all didn't forget about me. Anyway, so let's get going. So my tattoos. I've wanted tattoos since I was a teenager. I've wanted tattoos. I was a young mom. I had my daughter when I was 20, so you know, being a single mother, children are expensive. I had to prioritize. So tattoos were never, ever on the table. It was something I dreamed about, but not something that I would actually go out and get, because there was always something that needed repaired or paid for, or, you know, something always came up. So tattoos were just way on the way back burner, and not something that I was really actively planning on getting. Then after my daughter was all grown and in college, I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet, do something for me, and get my first tattoo. I'm a huge fan of floral works with fine lines, and my favorite flower, even though it's technically an herb, it's not a flower, is lavender. So, and back home, I had my own little lavender garden that I grew in my backyard along the side of my house. And they were beautiful, thriving. They became huge plants. I was very sad to leave them behind when I moved, because I couldn't bring them with me, because, you know, going to another country, they tend to frown on you bringing flowers or bringing live plants. So I had to leave my lavenders behind. So I decided that my first piece would be a laurel of lavender with my daughter's name in the center, because I knew that I wanted something on me, you know, with either my daughter's name or something having to do with her. So I got the lavender because it's my favorite, and then my daughter's name because she's my favorite. So that was my first tattoo, and I will go ahead and insert a photo of it right here. So as you see, her name is obscured because I am not going to dox my daughter. She has a very unique name that it's an old-fashioned name, and it's very unique. It's not very common, so I went ahead and blurred that out because I don't want to dox her. Even though we live in a huge city and there are other people named with her first name here, it wouldn't be terribly difficult to track her down or myself. So I went ahead and blurred that out. You'll see another tattoo where I have also blurred out something on it that could potentially dox a family member. So now we'll continue on to my second tattoo. So my second tattoo is also paying tribute to a family member. This family member is deceased. We always called him Uncle Herb, but he was more like a grandfather to us. My mother and my aunt didn't have the happiest home life when they were children. And they came from a very, very teeny tiny town in the mountains of northeastern California that it was like population 500, and everybody knew everybody, and you know, it was the 50s. Everyone could walk home from school and everything was fine. There were no issues. This gentleman, my mother lived across from the high school on one side of the school, and he lived across from the high school on the crossing street. So they lived very close to each other, and so she and my aunt used to hang out at his house after school, and he'd keep them out of trouble and teach them life lessons and basically step in and be a father figure to them when, after my grandparents had split up, my grandfather had moved to a different mountain community further away. And so this gentleman, Uncle Herb, he stepped in and basically raised my aunt and my mother. And in turn, my mother always and my aunt always raised their children to respect and treat him, even though we all of us cousins, we all called him Uncle Herb. He was always more like a grandfather figure to all of us and very dear to our hearts. And it was it was a huge blow to the family when he did pass. Now, he passed at a very old age. He was, I don't know his exact, I want to say he was 93. He was quite old when he passed. He had a very long, very interesting life. This man did some cool stuff. He was always just a bachelor, and he went around the country in his younger years, and he did some cool things, worked on some cool projects during the Depression and rebuilding the country, and helped build, I want to say it was Hoover Dam that he helped. It was either Hoover or Grand Coulee. I can't remember which dam it was, but he worked on that project. He went to school with Adolf Coor's grandson, got his butt beat by Adolf Coor's grandson on the schoolyard. It's been so long since I heard that story, I'd probably mess it up if I retold it, but that's the gist of what happened was, yeah, he and Adolf Coor's grandson did not get along. And they went to school together in Colorado. But yes, just one thing. I mean, he lied about his age and joined the Navy when he was like 13 years old. While he was serving in the Navy, you know, he just basically mopped decks was his job. But while he was doing it, he got to meet the Admiral, and the Admiral complimented his work, and that was always a neat story he liked to tell. But anyway, so yeah, Uncle Herb was a very interesting character. He also taught me how to fish, and some of the very fondest memories I have with Uncle Herb was us fishing. And he'd teach me how to take a tree branch, cut off a little thin tree branch, whittle it down into like a fork, stick it in the ground, and that's what you put your fishing pole on. And I still have mine to this day, along with a bunch of fishing equipment, antique fishing equipment that he passed down to me my mother gave to me when he passed away. So those are very dear to me as well. Anyway, because he taught me to fish, and that's my biggest, fondest memory of my times with Uncle Herb. I got a tattoo in memory of him that features a fishing fly with his initials and the geotag for, or the coordinates for his resting place. So I'm not going to, I don't know if I can, yeah, I can't really show it. I will just put that photo right here. So as you can see, I did blur out the coordinates so that nobody can go and decimate his grave or do something awful. His initials are JHB, so the actual hook of the fly is his first initial, and then I have the HB behind. The H stands for herb, obviously. And then below that are the coordinates. So I will be listing all of the tattoo artists and the studios in the information down below the video, in case anybody is curious about their work or looking them up on Instagram. I will have that information for you. So moving on. Now we have my third tattoo, which was a local apprentice had reached out on a Toronto-based community Facebook group looking for models for her to practice her work while she was working to graduate her apprenticeship with a studio here in Toronto called Chronic Inc. She, like I said before, my preference is florals. So she gave me a cute little dainty, posy configuration on my ankle. And I love it to bits. It's black, gray with white accents. And I'm just gonna post that photo right here. So as you can see, it's a cute little design. She did a very good job. She was still a new apprentice when she did that. She has since graduated and moved on to bigger, better things. But I still follow her on Instagram. And again, I will be posting that information down below in case anybody's curious or local enough to go check out the artists for themselves or get work from them. So moving on to tattoo number 3. Tattoo number 3 was a sort of a sentimental piece. I don't have to blur anything out this time, but my favorite book going back to childhood was always Ferdinand the Bull. Ferdinand was a pacifist bull. He was the biggest bull in the pasture. And for those of you not familiar with the book, basically some men from the bullfighting industry or whatever, this is set in Spain, by the way, came and they wanted Ferdinand to fight in the ring because he was big and immense and whatever. But Ferdinand just wanted to sit under his cork tree and smell the flowers. And that's how he spent his days while the other bulls were off, you know, challenging each other and whatnot. Ferdinand would sit and smell his flowers under the cork tree. So they took him to, I want to say it was Madrid or Barcelona. Anyway, one of the two. They took Ferdinand to the city to fight in the fight. And he didn't fight. Instead, he was, I believe, gosh, it's been a while. He was stung by a bee, and then that made him enraged looking and whatnot, and he jumped into the crowd or whatever. Anyway, long story short, he ends up, you know, being back in the pasture smelling his flowers at the end of the book. And so that, I always wanted to get a tattoo of Ferdinand. So that's what I did, and I'm going to put that right here. So as you can see, Ferdinand's sitting under his cork tree, smelling the flowers, and content in life. And although it's my favorite book, the tattoo also helps to remind me to be more like Ferdinand relax. As I've mentioned before, I have anxiety disorders, so that's something I struggle with. And so it reminds me to relax and breathe and just enjoy the moment where I am. So that's kind of a little extra meaning behind that tattoo. And like I said, although there's no family members or any information that could potentially dox me or a family member, it does have sentimental reason or meaning behind it. And I really love the tattoo. And the artist did an amazing job on it, in my opinion. So last but not least, my 5th tattoo, but not my final tattoo, because I do plan to get others. And you can actually kind of see a little bit of it here. I can't really raise my arm high enough to do that, but I will post a photo. The tattoo artist was another apprentice. She was working at Chronic Ink as well. Her specialty is realism tattoos. And so I had taken a trip a year ago to visit. My sister lives in Amsterdam. So I had gone to Amsterdam a year ago to visit with my sister, see my niece and my brother-in-law, and explore the area. I ended up going to Germany, Luxembourg, and Belgium while I was there. I knew I wanted to get a tattoo to commemorate my trip, but I hadn't decided on what. And then again, in the same local group that I had mentioned before, this apprentice sent out an SOS saying she was looking for a model for a realism tattoo. She posted some example photos of the works she had drawn up and what she wanted to do. And one of them happened to be a little group of tulips, realism, and it's like the back side of the tulips, not the front side, which I thought was really cool. And it's a beautiful design. And so I decided to go to her. This is quite a large piece. Had I paid for this in traditional ways, it would have been out of my price range by four times out of my price range. But she did an amazing job. You would never guess that an apprentice did this piece. And I will post a photo of that right here. So as you can see, it's quite a beautiful piece. I love the sort of a wildness of the flowers, the angle of the flowers, the deep black and gray colors, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I do intend to add on to it, and eventually I do want a half sleeve on my upper arm. So I will be adding other florals to that tattoo as time goes on and money allows. Probably not in the next year, at least, will I get another tattoo, just because I have other obligations and priorities right now. But eventually, you know, I'm still quite not anciently old. So I have time to add on to my tattoos. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed my little tattoo, gallery showing. Show you my pieces. And I apologize for the photos aren't better quality, but some of the tattoos are in placements where it's very difficult to get a good photo. So they're going to be either upside down or sideways or whatnot. So, but hopefully you'll forgive me and you can still see them and get an idea of what they look like anyway. So if you guys have any questions about the process of getting tattoos, maybe you're interested in getting a tattoo yourself and you're curious about the process behind getting a tattoo, the process, whether it's traditional ways or through apprenticeship work, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. If you would like a separate video where I talk about my experience getting a tattoo, for the first time or I like to think of myself as a seasoned pro now, because 5 is a decent amount and they're not small tattoos. All of my tattoos are a decent size, so I have a lot of hours of artwork on my body. So if you have any questions related to tattoos or want to see a separate video, do comment below and let me know. And I'm just really happy that you've joined me today, joined Chauncey and I today. And I am now going to finish getting ready and head out to meet my friends for my friend's birthday party this evening. And take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.